My name is Jay Johnson, and I am a digital media artist or creator. I work mainly with digital media, but I do a lot of drawing that I scan into the computer, so most of my work does eventually end up in a digital form at some point.
Can you understand me?
Yes, I can understand you.
I grew up in central Pennsylvania. I wound up in Fairfield because I came out to go to the university here, MUM. My mom and dad were meditators. I've been a vegetarian my entire life. I'm a vegetarian. I'm always getting jobs. I'm constantly busy. Probably a little bit too busy because I just want to work on my things most of the time.
These roll button shirts make me feel feminine.
And I just love these knickknacks.
I've known of Jay Johnson for some time now. I saw his website years ago and was absolutely delighted. I thought this guy is really an up-and-coming talent. He's quite a creative individual. And I invited him to be part of our experimental video exhibit that we had last year. People would come in and they would want to see Jay's work. They'd come in just specifically to see Jay's work. So I think more people asked to see his pieces than anyone. Probably it was the most popular stuff that we showed.
Sometimes I kind of wait around for like some really good idea that I think I need to wait and have the idea that's going to change my life, but that doesn't really work most of the time. You just have to do whatever you want to do. That's one of the reasons why I like working in India ink. You do make the drawing fast and it's done. There's no like going back and erasing anything or any editing involved. That's it. If you don't like it, do another one. Something with really large shoes. SupremePublication.com is this project where it started out as a zine. I was just scribbling out things on half sheets of paper and just doing it really quickly and doing it with pen and ink. Yeah, at first I was definitely more towards just my close friends, but then after a while, more and more people started coming up to me and saying how much they enjoyed it. Really?
Supreme Publication I became a real big fan of because of the humor.
It will definitely shock you a little bit, but then you'll start laughing.
I don't know where his mind is at. It's like a unique mind. So when you see his work, you're going inside the mind of Jay, and there's just this like, he just throws these humorous one-liners at you kind of, and you're just reeling from them.
I always describe it to people when I'm telling people about it as if you could imagine Ralph Steadman doing the drawings and Jack Handy, who from Saturday Night Live doing like deep thoughts type humor.
I think it's really fun to put in things in the videos or animations that make it sound like English is a second language or something like that. That's how a lot of people have described it. Just kind of strangely worded things.
It's pretty insane. And it's stuff that like you might hear like some like local yokels screaming while they're like drinking moonshine. Like, I don't know where he gets his inspiration, but it's pretty screwy. That's what I like about his stuff.
Dear Dan. Ha Hey Dan, remember I think it was about 7 or 8 days after you fell off the roof?
I drove over to someone's house, and before I went in, I sat in their driveway and wrote down all of the whole thing, the whole story to Dear Dan really quickly, like, and your leg got all big and all that stuff. I just wrote that down in 30 seconds or whatever. And I thought, hey, this will be fun to illustrate this weirdness.
Your leg got all big and wouldn't leave the hotel before it burned down. Then you ate all the almonds out of the mixed nuts.
Since I was going to put it up on Supreme Publication, I did it in the same style as Supreme Publication. I tried to make it look like more like watercolor.
Then you died. and the dog ate your head off. Whew, that was funny, Dan. Remember that?
We're shooting video for my website, shootinshit.com.
I find you aesthetically displeasing.
Kind of a joke website that I put together. It was just kind of a funny concept of nothing but people shooting random porcelain figurines. It's kind of a non-violent way to use guns. I think it's pretty funny. We're gonna shoot some porcelain figurines. Merry Christmas! Nothing scarier than a peace-loving, meditating, vegetarian gun owner. It's fairly intact. Strange. I'm gonna try to shoot some bottles of acrylic paint so that they'll splatter across a canvas. Are you kidding me?
You vaporized it.
Kind of abstract expressionist. In high school, I got out the old video camera.
That I scare easily, so I better prepare myself.
Started making videos with my friends and walking around with weird masks on and that sort of thing. And I still like making videos like that, where the project for the day is come up with a strange mask and make a video around it in your house.
I love quilting. One time I made a quilt that was so beautiful and strong that I made a bet that no one could rip through it. And for a vast amount of time that your kind would measure in years, many tried and failed. Until one day when Zergatan the scientist created a disruptor beam that was so powerful it ripped a hole right through time and space, and that's why I'm here today, quilting.
Definitely one of the main reasons why I live in Fairfield is to go to the Dome, you know, in this community, because it feels like something is happening here. It feels like we're definitely doing something good. And meditating and going to the Dome is part of that. Strange how, for some reason, yourself looking at yourself, looking at yourself, looking at yourself seems to inspire you.
Brandon let me borrow his guitar.
What I'm working on right now is a compilation of shorts and videos that are going to be compressed down into episodes, about 15-minute episodes. So far, I have a segment called Kevin's Science Fiction Realistic Special Effects Show.
Hi, I'm Kevin. I'm outside. At nighttime.
You know, I kind of get to play around with 3D special effects and like do all these really bad motion graphics effects, like standard like plug-in effects and particle effects, and pretend that I'm really, really into it. It makes me laugh. That's pretty much why I do it, you know? Well, I usually work alone, and if I can sit around by myself and make myself laugh at something, I know it's gotta be pretty good.
You can feel the sense of catharsis that he's going through while he's making his work.
What I find really quite wonderful and lovely about his work is how he can swing from very subtle and beautiful to just this off-the-wall humor.
I like it because it's like dark, and it's really weird, and like it's not disturbing to me, but it's like the kind of art that you're like, oh, that's really funny. It's like an adult humor to it.
And I think that his humor is not so out there that it would offend anyone, although he walks a fine line there. He almost offends people, but in a way you think it just sort of like breaks boundaries, and it's fun.
It's fun to mystify the viewer a little bit and kind of take them out of their own world, and then throw something in there that's just completely absurd. Being reminded of the relationship of you and what you're watching and how it's ridiculous is kind of, I don't know, kind of the point sometimes. My goals are to have a very large body of work that's pretty diverse. I feel like I like to jump around from one thing to the other, from print to video to animation. It seems to keep things fresh, but I'd like to have a large collection of stuff that is seen by a lot of people. It's a little bit strange. Yeah. What do you do all day? I sit around in my apartment and I draw funny pictures and laugh at them.